Racing pigeons have a uniquely designed respiratory system that allows them to fly long distances at high speeds. This system consists of 9 large air sacs, 2 cervical, 2 anterior thoracic, 2 posterior thoracic, 2 abdominal, and 1 mediastinal sac. These air sacs play a critical role in pigeon flight. The avian respiratory system differs significantly from the mammalian respiratory system. Birds have a flow-through respiratory system, while mammals have a tidal respiratory system. In birds, air flows continuously and unidirectionally in one direction from the anterior air sacs through the lungs and out through the posterior air sacs. When the pigeon inhales, deoxygenated air flows to air capillaries in the posterior thoracic and abdominal air sacs, while at the same time, oxygenated air flows from air capillaries in the lungs out through the anterior thoracic and cervical sacs. This allows for highly efficient gas exchange. The air sac system also aids in avian ventilation and skeletal pneumaticity. It extends not only throughout the coelom of the bird, but also into the avian postcranial skeleton. Hollow air-filled bones are connected to the respiratory system through openings called pneumatic foramina. This allows air to flow in and out of the hollow bones, acting as part of the respiratory system. The extension of air sacs into bones makes the avian skeleton remarkably lightweight relative to body size, an adaptation evolutionarily favored in birds for flight. The large airspace volume created by the air sac system also enables the high ventilation rates needed to support the extremely high metabolic demand associated with flight. Racing pigeons flap their wings 10 to 12 times per second while flying at top speeds. This rapid movement causes accelerations and decelerations of respiratory gases, so directions of convective and diffusive flows can change moment to moment within the system. The air sacs act as bellows to move these gases efficiently through the non-compliant avian lungs. The great capacitance for storage of respiratory gases provided by the air sac system allows racing pigeons to support their high oxygen consumption and carbon dioxide production during sustained, vigorous flight. When it comes to oxygen utilization and delivery, racing pigeons also possess several exceptional physiological adaptations. They have small lung volumes compared to similar-sized terrestrial mammals, but the lungs are highly vascularized with dense capillary beds. This feature enhances oxygen loading across the blood gas barrier. Racing pigeons also have large hearts relative to body mass and higher densities of mitochondria in flight muscle fibers than most other animals. These features ensure oxygen is pumped to working muscles at high rates and utilized rapidly. Furthermore, racing pigeons have the exceptional ability to dramatically increase their hematocrit, or concentration of red blood cells in blood, prior to long-distance flights. They may rapidly double their hematocrit from a normal of about 35 to 40% to as high as 70% by temporarily releasing stored red blood cells from the spleen. This boosts oxygen carrying capacity right when it is needed most. Within a day after completion of a vigorous long-distance flight, the hematocrit decreases back to normal baseline levels. The respiratory system of racing pigeons is supported by an intricate infrastructure of air capillary beds and rigid tubing that links the 9 air sacs to precise locations, serving efficient ventilation and skeletal respiration. The cervical air sacs are paired membranous pouches located ventrolaterally in the lower neck. Each sac has respiratory epithelial lining that forms extensive networks of air capillaries around the cervical vertebrae, upper esophagus, and trachea. The anterior thoracic sacs are the largest air sacs, situated in the cranial thorax next to the heart. They are connected to air capillaries that surround the lungs. The lungs are small, rigid, and clear structures located ventrally between the anterior and posterior thoracic air sacs. The visceral pleura covering the surface of the pigeon lungs forms branched grooves rather than subpleural alveoli as seen in mammalian lungs. Still, the high degree of vascularization in this thin membrane provides abundant gas exchange surface area. The posterior thoracic sacs lay adjacent to the lungs in the caudal thorax. Their air capillaries spread around the lower respiration-linked vertebrae and medial connective body wall. The abdominal sacs are paired pouches overlaying the ventral abdominal organs. Their air capillaries line the ventral body wall and innermost regions of the pelvis alongside ventral caudal vertebrae. Finally, the mediastinal sac is an unpaired median chamber within the lower thoracic cavity, bordered dorsally by the heart and ventrally by the liver's left lobe. The coalescence of smaller airways from other air sacs come together here before exiting the respiratory system. The rigid parabronchi are hollow epithelial tubes arising from largest intrapulmonary primary bronchus, which lead directly to the dorsobasal lung region. This non-compliant multi-chambered network forms the functional gas exchange unit of the avian respiratory system. The avian parabronchi differ from mammalian respiratory bronchioles in that they are not distensible. From the primary parabronchus, the branching secondary and tertiary parabronchi permeate the entire rigid lung structure. Their walls are deeply folded into hollow infundibula lined with networks of air capillaries. It is at this final juncture where arterial blood pumped by the heart flows extremely close to air funneling through the parabronchi. Only a thin blood gas barrier measuring just 2 microns separates them, enabling highly efficient oxygen and carbon dioxide transfer. The complex anatomy supporting the flight demands of racing pigeons showcase the evolution of a respiratory masterpiece. 9 voluminous air sacs pump through synchronized inhalation and exhalation cycles with air channels intertwining respiration and bones. Rigid lungs are saturated with blood vessels, maximizing diffusion across thin membranes into racing red blood cells. All these remarkable mechanisms allow racing pigeons to swiftly fly hundreds of miles home. Truly, one of nature's great engineering wonders, the racing pigeon respiratory system continues providing biologists with glimpses of aerial athletic perfection.
I'm an experienced ex-pigeon racer from England, and I can offer valuable insights and guidance on all aspects of pigeon racing, from breeding to racing. During my racing days, I managed a small team of no more than 70 pigeons, including stock, young birds, and old birds. It was not uncommon for me to send as few as 6 birds to a race and still secure the top 3 positions out of up to 2,500 pigeons in my club and federation. My race distances typically ranged up to 300 miles, and I consistently achieved top 5 placements in my club. My expertise extends to the art of selecting excellent breeders, including evaluating pigeons based on their eye-sign characteristics. I firmly believe that true champions can only be bred from top quality stock, and I can guide you in identifying and acquiring such pigeons. I understand that many pigeons for sale are advertised based on their lineage or pedigree, but I emphasize the importance of assessing the bird itself rather than relying solely on paperwork. As part of my offer, I invite you to share photos of your pigeons, including their eye sign and wing characteristics. I'll provide you with free advice on racing and breeding based on my extensive experience and knowledge. Additionally, I will share auction links to high-quality breeding birds that have the potential to produce winners in your loft. Here's what you can expect to receive from me: a comprehensive Word document containing valuable insights and strategies for successful pigeon racing, including specific racing methods for both old and young birds, as well as general advice. Private YouTube videos sent to your email, covering various aspects of pigeon racing, from breeding to race preparation. Detailed recommendations on supplements and additives to add to your pigeon's drinking water, with scientific evidence supporting their effectiveness. Similar products are used by professional athletes and racehorses to enhance performance. Assurance that your pigeons will race home faster, provided that you have quality birds to begin with. While I can provide guidance, it's essential to start with pigeons of good genetic quality. Guidance on feeding schedules and methods, tailored from Sunday to Saturday, to optimize your pigeon's performance. The understanding that there are no big secrets or magical products that guarantee success in pigeon racing. Instead, success hinges on developing a racing system that suits your loft and pigeons. I'm committed to providing full support even after you receive this information, as I want to see you succeed in pigeon racing. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions or need further assistance. Remember, the key to winning in pigeon racing lies in knowledge, dedication, and continuous improvement.